Hello everyone, and welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Settle in, because today's story feels like it fell straight from a primetime script into real life, and I promise you'll want to hear every second of it. If you adore Turkish dramas and your heart still skips a beat at the mention of Yemin, this is your moment. Before we plunge into the whirl of emotion, do me a quick favor: if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us for all the whispers, reveals, and swoon-worthy moments that keep this community buzzing. Now, breathe in, because what we're about to share revolves around two names that have lived rent-free in the minds of fans for years: Gökberk Demirci and Özge Yağız. Their connection first flashed on screen and never really let go. We watched it build scene by scene, glance by glance, the kind of chemistry you can't fake and you can't forget. And while the cameras eventually cut and the credits rolled, the story that fans dreamed of refused to fade, so much so that the line between fiction and reality felt like it was quietly dissolving. Today, those dreams are echoing as something far more tangible than speculation. According to sources close to the couple, amplified by several Turkish entertainment outlets, Gökberk Demirci has taken that leap everyone has been waiting for and proposed to Özge Yağız. Picture it the way you'd want it for the most heartfelt episode finale you've ever watched, but make it real life. No stage lights, no scripted cues, just families, tradition, and a circle of people who know what this moment means. We're told the engagement unfolded in a deeply intimate setting, wrapped in the warmth of loved ones, with a focus on customs that carry both weight and tenderness. The ceremony followed the beautiful Turkish engagement tradition known as İsteme, an act that speaks of respect, honor, and the blessing of two families coming together. In its classic form, the groom arrives with his father or elder relatives to formally ask the bride's family for permission, not as a formality, but as a meaningful step toward building a shared future. And yes, whispers say that Gökberk honored every detail. Imagine him arriving with poise and sincerity, offering not only words but a promise, his voice steady, his heart racing just a little faster than usual. The living room carrying the scent of fresh coffee, polite smiles meeting affectionate looks, the elegant pause before a father answers with pride, the soft rustle of women fussing over tiny details that become unforgettable in hindsight. Somewhere between tradition and joy, there is the famous salted coffee, playful, symbolic, sometimes mischievously strong, and the laughter it sparks. Then the rings, a ribbon laid across them like a red thread of destiny, a respected elder cutting that ribbon as if to say, "Let this path be open and blessed." In that moment, it is not just two people making a promise, it is two families choosing to be one. The news didn't tiptoe into the public eye, it sprinted. Social platforms lit up with congratulations, heartwarming edits, and posts that felt like they'd been waiting in drafts for ages. At first, of course, there was hesitation. Fans are used to rumors tiptoeing around the truth, and it's easy to dismiss the noise. But then came details, then came confirmations, then came the quiet confidence that only arrives when a story is no longer being told in whispers. The swell of joy felt real, palpable, widespread, contagious. It wasn't just trending, it felt personal. What makes this moment even more striking is the way Gökberk and Özge have always navigated their private lives with care. While their on-screen connection made people dream, they rarely made their personal chapters a public spectacle. Instead, they chose timing, discretion, and grace. And isn't that exactly why this reveal feels so powerful? It's a milestone unveiled not to chase headlines, but because it is time. It speaks of maturity, of trust, of a love that understands when to whisper and when to speak up. Engagements are never just jewelry and announcements. They're vows that begin before the vows, a promise wrapped in anticipation and responsibility. For Gökberk and Özge, this chapter signals something steady and luminous. Both are young, both are successful, both are walking paths that demand discipline and heart, and somehow, they have carved out room for something deeply personal to grow with intention. That balance doesn't just happen, it's chosen, protected, and nurtured in the spaces no camera reaches. Close your eyes for a second and imagine the images we don't see, the ones you only get if you're lucky enough to be in the room. A glance across a table that says everything. A mother's hand on a shoulder, a father's eyes turning glassy. A chorus of blessings, whispered and sincere. The clink of delicate glasses, the shy laughter between moments that matter, and the first feeling of the word fiancé fitting just right. In that room, love is simple and grand all at once. In that room, they aren't stars, they're just two people who found home in each other. Naturally, speculation about the wedding is already rolling like a wave. Will it be an intimate affair tucked by the sea, all soft light and subtle elegance, or a celebration that draws half the industry, with cameras flashing and friends cheering? Istanbul by night, with a timeless venue and a band that knows when to hush and when to soar. Or perhaps something closer to family roots, where the air itself seems to remember childhood stories? What color will Özge choose? Which designer will capture that balance of classic and modern that suits her so well? What melody will carry their first dance? Fans are already crafting it all in their heads, and honestly, can you blame them? For those who've been here since the early days, this feels like a circle quietly closing only to open again in a brighter place. On screen, their characters learn to trust, to forgive, to stand together against the storms that television loves to conjure. Those arcs demand tears and triumphs and symbolic gestures. They build a language of longing that audiences memorize without noticing. And when the actors behind those arcs choose each other in real life, it lands with a resonance that no rewrite could improve. It feels like a promise fulfilled, not scripted, but earned. This is also a reminder of how traditions can hold meaning without feeling dated. İsteme isn't just ceremonial choreography. It's a way of honoring family, of asking rather than assuming, of making space for elders to give their blessings. The coffee, the rings, the ribbon, each detail is a thread that ties the present to the past, reminding everyone that love may be new, but it grows on old, strong roots. In a world that can feel fast and loud, there is something grounding in watching two people choose the gentle pace of ceremony and respect. It's not about playing a part, it's about honoring where you come from as you step into what's next. As for what this means for their careers, if history is any indicator, news like this doesn't dim a star, it adds a facet. Gökberk's intensity and quiet strength on screen, Özge's clarity and grace. Individually they shine, together they create a magnetism that even the toughest audience can't ignore. Projects will follow. Stories will find them. And this new chapter will only enrich the depth they bring to characters who must carry weight, tenderness, and the courage to change. When life lends an actor a truth worth holding, it shows. We should also take a second to appreciate the way the news rolled out. It didn't arrive covered in glitter, nor did it hide behind silence. It came with a certain steady heartbeat, a rhythm that suggested they were ready, their families were ready, and the moment had earned the right to be shared. That's rare, and rare things deserve to be savored. The messages of support, the fan art, the heartfelt letters, the way timelines filled with scenes, quotes, and memories, it all transformed into a kind of collective celebration, the kind that reminds you why fandoms are families too. And yes, questions remain. When will the wedding be? Will we get a glimpse of the preparations? Will we see them hand in hand at a quiet registry office first, followed by a dreamy celebration later? Will there be a henna night that spills gold and crimson into the evening, stories and songs and laughter tying a bow on the path they've walked to get here? Perhaps they'll keep some parts tucked safely away from the public eye, and perhaps that's for the best. Mystery never hurt romance, it often protects it. Let's not forget how far they've come. The path from co-stars to partners in life is never simple. It's marked by schedules that seem merciless, by constant attention, by a million tiny tests that relationships outside the spotlight never face. And yet here they are, standing steady, choosing a future they don't owe to anyone but themselves. That choice, made quietly and meaningfully, deserves applause louder than any premiere. What do we hope for them? Exactly what this moment suggests. Continuity, kindness, the unglamorous courage it takes to love someone on ordinary days. May the spotlight be kind, may their homes be private, may their work continue to enthrall, and may this engagement echo as the first step of a life measured in celebrations both grand and small. There's a sweetness in knowing that somewhere right now, they're making plans that have nothing to do with scripts. Guest lists, flowers, songs, a promise to always find their way back to each other no matter how wide the world becomes. So here we are, at the end of a whisper that turned into a chorus. We began with a tantalizing rumor and arrived at a moment that feels as certain as it is romantic. Gökberk Demirci has asked, and Özge Yagis has said yes, in a setting that honored family, tradition, and the quiet beauty of sincerity. The İsteme, the rings, the smiling relatives, the grateful joy. Each piece came together like a scene unfolding exactly as it should, only this time it belongs to them and to no scriptwriter. Before we let you go, consider this your official invitation to join the celebration right here at Whispers of Turkish Stars. Tell us how you imagine this moment, what you hope to see when the wedding bells finally ring, and which memory from Yemen still makes your heart tug in their direction. Were you expecting this announcement? Did it catch you by surprise in the best possible way? Share it all below, we read every word, and your voices make this space the vibrant, affectionate community it is. If today's story made you smile, if it reminded you why you fell for these two in the first place, help this joy travel a little farther. Like this video, send it to the friend who's been shipping them since the first stolen glance, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you never miss a chapter of what comes next. We'll be here through every new whisper and every confirmed truth, celebrating the moments that matter and keeping the spotlight soft enough to let love speak for itself. To Gökberk and Özge. May the road ahead be bright, may the traditions that guided this engagement continue to bless every step, and may all the dreams that felt too delicate to say out loud finally find their voice. From our hearts to yours, congratulations. And to all of you watching, thank you for spending this time with us. This has been Whispers of Turkish Stars, and we'll see you in the next story, where the magic of Turkish showbiz meets the timeless truth of love. Until then, keep believing in the moments that feel like destiny, because sometimes they are.